I wanted to kind of end on this topic, the balance
Mm.
of giving and receiving,
Mm.
and also how men can be better balancing their desire to be providers, protectors, and emotional partners. So and there's a cadence, there's a dance. It's going to be different for everyone, but the giving and receiving, right? When it comes to relationships, what do you think?
Man, I think so much asks us to step into the masculine frame. That's the term that's being sort of, thrown around out there, your masculine frame. And I think that gets bastardized. And so you have these men out there going to these weekend workshops where some Navy SEAL is for 15 grand is going to teach you how to be a better man.
Mm-hmm.
They should probably stick to storming, compounds, not
Yeah,
relationship to self
yeah.
or relationship to your partner. What they do is great, but I don't think it's particularly good for themselves or relationships at large.
Mm-hmm.
And so, stepping into that masculine frame and being the provider and being the protector and all of that, that's something most of us are fairly naturally geared towards and kind of know how to step into. It's the emotional frame, because your partner typically needs to have that container in that space as well. And your ability to touch into your own emotions will allow you to help it to touch into their emotions and make them feel understood, seen, connected to, all of those things. Right. And so, I got that from the women in my life. I didn't get that from my father. And, that was difficult for me. But I like to say that emotional window that we are allowed is a very, very narrow one, right? And so if we go above that top pane, so to speak, of that emotional window, we typically go into rage, we go into anger, and we become the pariah of our families or our communities. If we go below the bottom pane of that window, then we start questioning our masculinity. The ick factor kicks in. Is that, that's a thing. And so I think that we have to start gaining a palette for our own emotional landscape and an ability to go there. That's the next frontier, I think, for us as men, to be able to tolerate our feelings. And we've pathologized our feelings in this country. We don't want to feel what we need to feel. We desperately need to feel it. And so we bury it. And I think this is in part why women live longer than we do, right? Because broad stroke speaking, of course, they tend to be more process-oriented beings than we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're saying something really profound when it comes to being a protector. Most men think, okay, I could beat someone up. I have a gun. I can protect my family. That's what it means to be a man. But this idea of, under the umbrella of being a protector, being able to provide a safe emotional space.
There you go.
That's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And because I don't think many men would define being a protector as someone also who can provide a safe emotional space.
It's exactly right. And that means, that's a whole new landscape, right? Because we typically go in there with the tool belt on. The women will complain about the fact that, like, don't fix me. I don't need you. And, so I learned that early on with Ashley. She's really fucking smart. She does not need me to fix her.
Right.
And it was like a lesson for me to learn to sit on my hands and to just be present.
Right.
And that's enough. Like, just allowing space and being present for that is the emotional protector. That I can have those feelings, that I can, dive the depths of my darkness, and you're willing to stand there with me and look at it, talk to me about it. Man, that's a whole new version of relationship.
Yeah, and I love that maybe that can be the new definition, because most men, they tie the ability to fix something to their worth or their manhood.
That's right.
So it's like, what do you mean? That's what I do. I fix things. I fix the fucking plumbing. I fix this. What's going on? I'll fix your life. But what they want is not fixing, but they want someone to just be there. That is going to bring up a lot in the man if his definition is, the definition of a man is being able to fix.
I thought it was a cruel joke, honestly. I was like, surely this can't be enough. Like this.
Just to be present.
It can't be enough. And so I did this little experiment. I thought, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do less. It's an whole Paul Newman acting thing. Do less, do less. Well, if I do any less, he told this director, he goes, then I won't be acting. And the director goes, exactly. And so I
Right.
tried this, right? So she's in the bedroom. She's having a little bit of a cry. So I don't even know what happened. I'm not even sure. I just see her in there and she's having a cry. So I come into the bedroom. I don't say a word. I curl up around her, I hug her. I just sit there for 5 minutes. Didn't say a goddamn, didn't say a word. I get up and I leave. Didn't say a word about it. A few hours later, she said, "Oh, by the way, you were amazing this afternoon."
Wow. And you're like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Yeah. Yes.
So it worked.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, I didn't fix anything. I was just there. I was present. I was physically supportive. I was energetically supportive. Learning to do that
Yeah.
is antithetical to everything that we've been taught.
Man, I love that. So I have a moment as well that I would like to share. Something happened, and Vanessa was very upset. I think we were fighting, but I mean, she was crying. And I don't know what got me to do this, but I kind of went over, uh, and I just held her. I
Mm,
held her, and she kind
mm,
of nuzzled in my arms, kind of like a child. And I didn't
mhm,
say one word. I didn't know what to say. I just held her. Um, and to this day, she will note that as one of the most powerful moments. Um,
mhm.
and I didn't say a word. All I did was hold
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Um, and
We
yeah,
could
and
also
and
safely assume that Vanessa is smart enough to fix herself and
yeah, of course,
probably knows what
right,
to do.
right.
Yeah.
Um, but also here's what's interesting is so you and I know this,
Mhm,
but I I've only done this once or twice.
mhm.
I've never, you know what I'm saying? It actually still isn't common, even though I know that that's the prescription. And
Well,
a lot of it is because I'm not used to it. I have not put it in the reps. It's still weird to me to just sit there, say nothing, and hold someone because I feel like I'm doing nothing. What are we doing? You know, let's get to
it's
work.
antithetical. It's antithetical. That's why
Yeah.
you and I go out and you're like, "Hey, I'm having this X, Y, and Z problem." I would turn to you and go, "Well, try B, C, and D," and you'd be like, "Thanks," and we'll move on.
Right.
And
Right.
fixed. Thank you. I hadn't thought of that. That's awesome.
Right. Right.
That's not necessarily how your relationship, typically with your female partner, um, uh, works. It's this. It's often do less. Don't fix me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think also it works with like if you came to me
Mm-hmm.
with a problem and I held you, do you think
Mm-hmm.
that'd be very different? Do you think that it's only powerful because it's the masculine, feminine, or the intimate relationship?
I think we all need to be witnessed.
Yeah.
I think we all feel the need to be understood, to be
Yeah.
gotten. That it's okay for me to have the feelings that I'm having, and I think that this is part and parcel to the struggle we have as men.
Mm.
Is that is admitting to our shame, admitting to our darkness, admitting to sadness and depression, admitting to feelings of collapse or weaknesses, right? Like we're not allowed to have that. So Brene
Yeah.
Brown tells a beautiful story about a woman who came up to her during a book signing and got 4 books signed, one for her and one each for her 3 daughters. And the woman walked away and then began obviously kind of arguing with who was turned out to be her husband. And the man walked over to her and said, you know, do you don't talk about men? She goes, no, I only talk about women. And he goes, well, it's interesting because we men, we have our shame and we have our darknesses. He goes, but I have 4 women in that house that would just as soon watch me fall off that white horse, or
Mm.
die in that white horse than to fall off of it. Excuse me, I messed it up. Um, and so I think that, you know, that's kind of where we live. Like we don't necessarily dive into those darknesses. We don't dive the depths of our pain, of our hurt. And so the idea that we could come to another guy, and I
Mhm.
think this is why those men's groups can work if they're given enough
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You asked me, do I feel safe with other men? Probably not.
Yeah. No, I
Is it?
know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it safe for me to have those feelings? Because I do.